Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning, John Cass, JohnCassNews.com. The John Nichols piece in The Nation yesterday in advance of the debate. Biden can trounce Trump in tonight's debate. Here's how. And the how was to hammer a key proposal about taxing the rich to protect our social services. Point is this. The left was engaged in suspension of disbelief right up until Biden took the stage last night. And they got caught believing the bullshit they've been spewing for years to prop him up. Getting jacked up to read a speech is not the same thing as having to think and speak extemporaneously. They went all in, and
they're children.
Trump had a couple of aces in the blind.
They're children. They believe their own BS.
But this is why it was a funeral setting on the sets of MSNBC and CNN yesterday, exemplified nicely by Joy Reid at MSNBC.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak,
and seeming like he needs to be replaced. For more on this, we're joined by our friend Bret Baier. Of course, he is the host of Fox News Special Report, weekdays, 5 p.m. Chicago time. Also the best-selling author of To Rescue the Constitution, George Washington and the Fragile American Experiment, and the History Club, Duel Across Time. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Morning.
Panic at the disco on the DNC and on the Democrat side after last night's debate. I know Newsom and Kamala Harris tried to put on brave faces, but what's your handle on how quickly or not this could unwind for Biden?
Talking to senior Democrats high up, the quote is, "It's over, and we are effed, and it could be over by Monday."
Really? And
that they're going to move quickly to try to figure out how the logistics are to replace him as the nominee.
And I mean, is it clear who would step in? I mean, who actually desires to step in this context?
Well, there's many who desire, but it's just a question of how you can do it. I mean, Gavin Newsom is probably the guy that we talk about the most. But remember, you have Kamala Harris in the second spot there, and it's a sticky thicket. They are going to figure it out, though, and there will be another nominee that comes forward probably next week.
Really? You think? I mean, and if Biden resists, because obviously he has a veto on this, then what? They go public on him? They take it public?
Yeah, I think it is a full-on implosion. And, there's a lot to be answered for. The 16 aides who worked with him for 7 days at Camp David, Dr. Jill Biden, everyone knew at some point over the last 8 days that this at least was a significant possibility of happening before he walked out on that stage. And, it comes just 1 week after the White House and the Democratic establishment was ripping on us for running videos of him walking off stage or getting, dragged off stage by former President Obama, calling
deep fakes.
Yeah, right.
Deep fakes.
Right.
I mean, this was 90 minutes, and it was raw. And for people who are shocked, it's only because those channels have never covered this element of President Biden.
Well, the aides too, in terms of what they knew and what the risk factor was. In addition to, they basically could have demanded whatever terms they wanted with respect to the debate, because Trump, his instincts were right. I just want to get him on stage. I don't care. Whatever you want, I'll do just to get you on stage. So one of the things they clearly should have done, because this was as debilitating for him as anything Trump had to say, is the reaction shots. Because, I mean, the reaction shot in the first 30 minutes was the end of the debate.
The first 5 minutes was the end of the debate.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I think it was 10 minutes after, but you look at the preamble and all of that stuff, basically his first words were so raspy and weak, and then he has that freezing moment where he stops and says, "We killed Medicare."
Yeah,
it was the most surreal thing, and it happened all at the top.
So what do you think, this is John Cass, so what do you think Kamala Harris's price is going to be?
I actually don't know. I think this is all it's just all up in the air. I think there probably has to be a replacement of her in the ticket, because her stuff is, her poll numbers are less weaker than his, believe it or not.
Right.
But maybe not after this debate last night.
Well, as I said, Newsom and Harris, their immediate reaction, unsurprisingly, was to essentially try to downplay how disastrous it was, doing a little bit of damage control. But I mean, what can the DNC do if there is resistance? I mean, they can't just extract the delegates from him and hand them to somebody else, can they?
No, he has to be a willing party, and it will take probably former President Obama or Michelle Obama or someone to actually talk him to this place that the Democrats I'm talking to say he will get to. Because
really?
It's so devastating.
So they think that, I mean, just to be clear about it, short of Rocco and Moose, you think that he can be persuaded out. They think that he can be persuaded out if done gently enough with enough dignity.
Yes, because you cannot come back from what we saw last night. You can't. Now, here's the crazy part, is that, former President Trump didn't have the best debate. I mean, he did hit on immigration again and again and again, but he, had opportunities to go to a very positive place and a vision, and he didn't, but he hit the marks. And all he had to do was stop talking when the mute button went on, because the rest of the debate was what was happening to President Biden. And because it happened so early, I think it affected everything.
Yeah. I was explaining to John Cass, how, because he's not a golfer, how I know Joe Biden never got down to a 6 handicap, Brett?
How's that?
Because he said, I got down to an 8 right after he said I got down to a 6. So, you know your index. You know what I'm saying? You're a golfer.
It was one of the best lines of the night. I've seen your swing. You're not a 6.
I cannot. That's my favorite moment in presidential debate history, is two guys arguing about their handicap, just like we would at the 19th hole.
But at that point,
better than John Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah. When they were going back and forth like that, it was sort of like the old guys in the Muppets. They were just going back and forth.
Statler and Waldorf.
Can you carry your bag? It was surreal.
It was wild. I know. All right. We know you have work to do this morning. Bret Baier, host of Fox News Special Report, weekdays 5 p.m., as everyone knows. Thank you for spending time with us, Bret. Appreciate it.
You bet. You bet.
And Bret joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter.